Philly Burger, now I'm hungry, says, hey, Semantic Mastery from Philly. Question for Bradley. When starting an SEO agency, what's some social proof or case study type content we can share to close clients when we don't have any clients yet? Only ever done SEO for my own agency site. Well, number one, your own agency site, rank it, right? If you can rank your own agency site in your local town, use that, use that as an example. Like, hey, I rank my own site. I mean, you could use that, but also, if you study specific methods or trainings, in some cases, it makes sense if you're going to follow a particular program or methodology. Sometimes people will allow you to use theirs as an example. You don't claim that you did it, but you can say, here are examples of the types of results that I can get using my method, using my methods. That's something else you could do, but I would recommend ranking something. I recommend, again, focusing down on a particular industry. That's how I've done that with my own business, my own agency. I deal with almost exclusively tree service contractors, but to a lesser degree with landscapers and or excavating contractors as well, because they're all kind of related, but mostly just tree service contractors. And so if you niche down or focus in on a particular industry, just go build a website. It could be a generic branded, don't make it too generic, give it an actual name, but create a website, go rank that website. And then use that as an example, make it specific to an industry, and then you can target businesses in that specific industry and point to your own asset as an example that you used, right? That's one of the best ways to do it is, and I got started that way because I built lead gen assets before I ever did agency work. So I had proof that I knew what I was doing in a particular industry because I had my own assets that I ranked. And that's what I do now for I've got a bunch of examples that I can point to when I'm talking to a prospect, a tree service contractor, because I've got, years of doing it now. So, but you got to start somewhere. So build an asset in that particular industry that you want to focus on, which is what I recommend, and rank it, but use your own SEO site to begin with first. That was a good question too.
Yeah, real quick, I just wanted to pile onto that too. Depending on where you're at, like this could apply or not, but also start out with some easier stuff, like, to build yourself up, but also, if you can rank assets that will rank easier, right? Like identifying some keywords that might rank easier for videos, rank some YouTube videos, don't make it hard. Kind of like Bradley's idea when I know Bradley, people ask you like, well, how much of this stuff should I do? Like, well, do the absolute minimum you need to do. Like, don't throw the kitchen sink at it and then be like, well, shit, I tried everything and it didn't work. Like, also, it's a time and expense thing. You want to do the least amount to get the best results. So I think that could apply here too.
Yeah, and there's certain, like, again, in the tree service industry, there are certain keywords that are much easier to rank than tree service, right? Tree service is the most general, the broadest of keywords. So, like, for example, tree trimming and tree pruning are basically the same thing, right? They mean basically the same thing, but I can rank for tree pruning a lot easier than tree trimming. Does that make sense? So another thing, stump removal or stump grinding it's not a real high value keyword, but because of that, it's a lot less competitive. So you can rank for that easily. So and I'm just using my industry as an example, but you can go out and do stuff like, set up a G site, right? A Google site, because that will rank quicker, or a blogger blog. People don't know this, but it's, and I've been saying this for months, but blogger blogs are so underutilized. And maybe because it's kind of they look, it's hard to make them look great and everything else. But blogger blogs, remember, it's a Google property. So you can rank those very, very easily. You can create a blogger blog, rank it for some of the lower competitive keywords in whatever industry it is that you choose, by just putting good content on it, make it look nice, and then throw a bunch of spam links at it. You can do that with Blogger because it's a Google property, and you can rank it very, very quickly. And you can use that as an example. Like, you don't have to go out and, you can, and I recommend that you do also go out and build a site on a self-hosted, on a domain that's self-hosted and all that kind of stuff, something that looks nice and all that. But you can get some quick wins doing what Adam just mentioned, which was, targeting some of the lower competition keywords in a particular industry, using stuff like parasite SEO, right? Which is, or using Google properties, Blogger, Google sites, things like that you can build make it look decent, and then you could throw a bunch of links at them and get them to rank very, very quickly, and then point to those as examples of that, what you're doing, right? While you're working on maybe ranking a more traditional site, because that usually is going to take a little bit more time. But there's some stuff that you can do. YouTube videos, yeah. I've just found, and it depends on the keyword, but I found that YouTube videos are becoming harder to rank for local terms than they used to be. Google just doesn't like to put some videos on for competitive local keywords, and I've experienced that over and over again. It can be done. Press releases, you can rank press releases. There's just a number of things that you can do. I'm always going to suggest Google sites, but what Adam said was absolutely true. Well, when I say Google sites, I mean Google properties. So.